Well, you're probably waiting for the show to start. Well, I can understand that. And trust me, you were in the right place. But before we start the show, we got to let you know that today's show is brought to you by a very special and new sponsor to the show. None other than Southern New Hampshire University. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And you know I'm excited about it. Number one, because they're doing a great thing in terms of helping people overcome, some of the experience barriers that are holding people back, right? And we know that that comes up a lot as we progress through this professional world and just adulthood, right? So with SNHU, the beautiful part about them is this. They are designed for people like you and me, man. The ones that are busy, but can make some time to be on the online space and, multitask, so to speak. And that is what SNHU brings to the table. The largest, or one of the largest, accredited nonprofit online degree offerings. Man, it is a dope thing that they got going on over there. One of the programs that stood out to me the most is their sports management program, in terms of being able to, number one, work at your own pace. They have multiple times throughout the year where you're able to get into the course and ultimately progress through at your own speed, 24/7 access. I mean, those are beautiful things, especially when we're just talking about the working person, the busy person, the person with the family out there. SNHU. Oh, they trying to hook you up. They trying to help you out, baby. Now, like I said, for myself, man, I've utilized the online program very similar to this, and I can tell you firsthand the benefits that come from these type of programs and what SNHU is offering, man. You don't want to miss out on it. So check out the link, all right? snhu.edu/Arthur Moats, all right? You check that out. Obviously, this is all in the description as well. But I want you to check that out, man. Look at that sports management program and just see some of the average salaries associated with degrees in this field, man. Could definitely be something that might motivate you, make you want to go out there and do something special out there and, ultimately put yourself on an even better trajectory. But with that being the case, you see right here, SNHU, Southern New Hampshire University. I stand by them. And as always, keep being great. But now I think it's time to get back to the show. So, you already know, don't touch that dial, baby.
I might have said him. I can't remember. He says, Najee looked slim in a pic I seen of him. Yeah, that was definitely one of the things that, really jumped off when I first saw him running yesterday. I was like, yo, my man just looks leaner, not small. Like, I thought, let's see, I've seen him when he was 240. I mean, when he came over that first year, ran right to where he was doing a little radio show at OTAs and was like, yeah, bro, I'm 240. Like, this is the weight I'm on, because everybody was talking about he's like had jacked up and everything. Honestly, I don't know the number. If he said anything 220, 225, I would believe it, though.
Oh, wow.
So just to give you what I was seeing in terms of just how I was eyeing body weight and stuff like that, I thought he was in the 20s. And that is really exciting if that's the case, because he looked a lot more nimbler in terms of just running. Now, granted, he was off to the side, so he's still working at a high tempo, but it's not, let me see you running in JPJ chasing after you for a finish. Can you be fast enough? Are you fast enough to actually end this the right way? We couldn't get that, but just eyeball me watching him move, I'm like, yo, you're moving better. You look lighter. You look like you got a little bit more on you. It's not, oh, you're going from 4.5 to 4.2. It's not that, but it's like you look noticeably quicker. You look noticeably faster. Like the quickness in terms of the short area, but then even that part. And that's the thing where we're like, yo, if you can add that to your game, that's a huge element for you. That's what L. Bell transitioned from year 1 to year 2. It was the big body difference. You're like, bro, you just look noticeably different. Now, he didn't slim down to where L. Bell slimmed down to. L. Bell was like crazy. But that was the whole whatever single percent body fat, anything. Like, I'm like, bro, is that 5%? Is that 6%? I don't know what this look like. Just, you got a lot of just muscle on. I've never seen it like that, bro. But that was the part of him, being his best self. He couldn't be heavy anymore. He had to be as light and as lean because he wasn't the fastest dude. But that's where the elite quickness, and it was fast enough. And that's the part where I look at Najee now and I'm like, your body type looks like you should be able to give us that because you're naturally faster than L. Bell. You were just bigger. So now that you've cut a little bit off, I want to see how that equates to him being on the field because, like I said, just watching him off on the side yesterday, I was like, yeah, he looks better. He looks a lot better to me. TG, I wish I would have had him confirmed, but he said we both kind of said the same things. Watching him like, yo, he looks good. Like, doesn't look bulky. It doesn't look heavy. Because we said at times, like, Najee looks just like, it's like, bro, why are you so
particularly
big?
early in the season, and that's what I'm wondering to
Yeah,
myself
bro.
right now. I'm like, maybe it is just better to go into the season lighter, and then if you do add an extra 5 or 10 pounds as the season goes on,
okay.
like, it is what it is. It doesn't really matter. But for the early portion of the season, Najee hasn't been getting off to the greatest of starts. So, yeah, maybe taking this approach will do him better to just have a better overall, productive season as opposed to coming on strong, like, from week 9, week 10 on, like what he normally has.
Yeah, no, very true. Because that's been the knock. But if this, I don't know what or how this, who told him to take it, whatever. It's like, yo, whoever's in your ear, though, I'm glad you're listening to them. Because I do feel like that is going to help him out a lot more than him being just big and trying to, like, physically pound guys. Because even though he is a physical and bruising runner, it's still not, like when we talked about the whole Derrick Henry part, it's like, it still feels like it was missing an element with that. I think the lighter version of him could add another part to his game that even though it's not fully Derrick, I think that it can complement the style of running that he already brings and his reputation. Because his reputation already is he's a physical downhill. He's going to stiff arm you. He's not really going to step around you. But at the same time, it doesn't like it's going to kill you to tackle him head up either because like you could take a shot on him. This version, though, I think it can step around you now. That's the part where it's going to make it a little bit more. That's the part that makes Derrick Henry scary. You know he can run you over, but it's like he can also go around you. And now when you got to play both, that's when you get on the highlight tape. And I just think that Naj, just based off what I saw, I think that he could be getting ready to do something like that for us.
And even though we'd get pissed off about some of his juke moves and stuff at times, like, for his size, he's actually pretty good with his feet.
Yeah.
It's just that we feel like he'd be better off just running over people at the size that he was these last couple of years.
Yeah.
Like, because sometimes the juke moves wouldn't get him going forward. It'd get him going backwards, and you feel like, if you just go forward, you run over this dude, you get easily an extra yard or two. But you're trying to go around him and make these little splash moves. Like, sometimes it has worked for him. He's been able to jump over people. But, other times it just kind of pisses you off. But I feel like you're saying, now if he does try to move around you, does try to do some of these juke moves, they might be more effective.
Yeah. And I think also one of the things that hurt him, and I think I have to caution myself to not do it with GP, we were accustomed to seeing L. Bell and AB. They were the greatest during that time frame, when they were here, man. It was like, so we weren't just watching a okay running back. If Najee was just replacing James Conner, I don't think we talk about it the same way.
He kind of was, but we still had the energy and like the nostalgia for Lev
for L. Bell. Yeah. It's like if we never had L. Bell, if our only back was James Conner, that was that era, and then from there it was Najee. I don't think we hold him to the same standard. I don't think we talk about his style as like almost like a negative connotation to it.
Yeah.
But
you're viewing him as an upgrade over James Conner. I think he has been.
Yeah.
James Conner's tenure here in Pittsburgh, at least.
Yeah, and I would agree with you. But we don't think that he's better than what the L. Bell was and how that would move and how that would operate. And I think the same with wide receiver. If there was never an Antonio Brown that came through this thing, it's like, man, do we look at how a GP plays, or even when a Deontay was here? Does that change that perspective? Whereas when you're seeing AB, who literally would catch everything, who was a part of some of the most insane moments in NFL in terms of just how he's like, bro, how are you doing that? It's the same way we talk about quarterback. If Kenny's going to any other team where it's not Ben Roethlisberger was just here for 18 years, night and day in terms of the expectations, in terms of the pressure, in terms of the expectations. But you're replacing that. This is your standard, not here. Price doing business though, but that's the one thing I feel like with Najee though. I'm like, it's not L. Bell, but I feel like it's still going to be
Watch
nice,
Najee
man.
Harris when it's all said and done. He'll be the best Steelers running back
You know
in
how it
franchise
is.
history.
You know how
Like
it
the
is.
durability,
You know how it is.
is just gonna stand the test of time, and he's
Mhm.
gonna plug along, be like a Frank Gore in a way.
Yeah,
Watch,
yeah.
he's gonna have 10 1,000-yard years in a row,
seasons, yep.
and we're gonna look up and say, wow, just statistically, when you put it all together, he was
Yep.
the best Steelers running back of all
Mhm.
time. We had a Franco Harris, a Jerome Bettis, and
Yeah.
like a Le'Veon Bell here.
You know it's
Watch.
gonna be the
That's how
case.
it's gonna
You
play
know it's
out.
gonna be the case, bro.
Now he is gonna have to win a Super Bowl too, but like, yeah, what if it plays out that way where he
Yeah.
has the best stats out of all the running backs the Steelers have had
Yeah.
the whole time, and I've been trying to trade him literally every year.
It is funny, but the
But like,
start to it.
I was gonna say, like him
his start has
losing
been
the
that.
weight. Like I feel like that is a start. That is like just could be a catalyst
Yeah,
to him extending his career here.
yeah. I just looking at it as just the alumni to a younger player. I took it as you're not complacent with the success that you had, even though you feel like you deserve contract extension. And obviously the team is a little bit hesitant about that. That has not deterred you from keeping your main thing being the main thing, which is you love football first. Before we start playing for money, we play because we love the game. And it's like, don't lose sight of that because you're chasing the dollar, because you want to prove a point about this money. It's like, yo, you keep being you. You keep proving that, yo, if I think this going to make my game better, I'm going to do this. And that's the one thing that, as I was, like I said, watching him, I was like, yo, I just feel like that's the vibe right now. Because he could very easily say, why do I need to change anything when I've shown you that I'm a successful running back by just NFL standards, right? 1,000-yard rusher. We all say, yeah, check box. That's a good NFL running back. Oh, now you did it on 3 separate occasions with 3 different quarterbacks, coordinators, all these other combinations. Yeah, you're a good player by NFL standards. So you don't have to do anything outlandish to change that narrative. But he's saying that, yo, I think I can be better. I want to be better. And that's the thing that, like I said, is a little bit more intriguing to me, seeing that element of it. And that's why I'm ready to see, ultimately, when the season does get here, will this actually pay off like I think it will?
Franco Harris, 12,000 yards for his career. Jerome Bettis, 13,600. So that's what Najee's up against here.
He could do it, though. You said Frank Gore get you 1,600.
Is that what he got
16 seasons.
when it was all said and done?
16
Oh,
seasons,
man.
yeah. 1,000 a year, 1,000 a year, 1,000 a year. Which is nuts. But he got 16 out of them.
Najee has held up. That's one of the things you can give him.
Yeah.
The durability is there.